Took some nuts off and I could walk. Look, I'm good to go.
Yes.
I will call to order this April 27th, 2021 meeting of Lawrence County Salary Board. Would all please rise for the pledge of allegiance, followed by a brief moment of silence. Judge, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And all please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Controller Gettings.
Here.
Commissioner Spielvogel.
Here.
Commissioner Boyd.
Here. I will note Commissioner Vogler is excused. As noted in our earlier commissioner meeting, he is currently attending the funeral of former Representative Fox. I will note that we are being live streamed being sent out to YouTube. Any member of the public who wishes to provide public comment, but who might be unsure or unable to come into the courthouse, they can still do so by submitting such comment to mboyd@lawrencecountypa.gov. Please include the subject line Salary Board Public Comment so we know where to attribute that comment to. That note, are there any other members of the public today or anybody here today who wishes to provide public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to the minutes. We have approval of salary board minutes from January 4, 2021, which is our annual meeting, and April 5, 2021, which was a special meeting. So I'll give my colleagues a minute to look those over, and then I'll take a motion to approve the minutes or make any amendments as deemed necessary.
I will move that they be accepted.
Second, we have a motion second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Minutes approved. New business, we have resolutions. First up from the courts. Judge Bonner, how are you doing today?
Well, thank you.
Good.
What I'd like to do is take the first motion and make the motion, and if there's a second, that I could give some explanation of it. This relates to the Judicial Secretary of 411, who's being asked to take on some additional work for the Custody Conciliation Officer. And this increase would only apply as long as this individual would be doing these additional duties. The motion that I would make would be, therefore, be it resolved by the Lawrence County Salary Board that the Judicial Executive Secretary assigned to Courtroom 1 receive an increase of $3,000, and that $3,000 increase will be removed if the additional duties referenced above are eliminated. If I make that motion.
All right, do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, or give it to.
Okay. The explanation for this, we have a very good custody conciliation officer with approximately 40 years of experience who handles the initial custody and visitation disputes for the family court judge. And probably 90% of the cases that are filed, she's able to resolve them. And she does this for a very modest rate of $85 an hour, which is almost, if I had to replace her, it'd be almost impossible. I think it would be impossible to replace her with someone of like quality at that hourly rate. But she, rather than increase in her rate, she asked for some help with the secretarial part of the work. What she does generates a lot of paper, generates all the work for the family court judge to sign after she makes her recommendations. So trying to find somebody to do it, I asked my secretary if she would do it, and she agreed to do it. She's actually been doing it since, I would say, last November. And I felt that it would only be fair if she received compensation for that. So what I'm asking for is a $3,000 per year.
All right, any comments from the board? Hearing none, we'll make that salary board resolution 2021-026. 026. We do have a motion and a second. No further discussion. Question is on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Judge Morton,
Yes.
Controller Gettings,
Yes.
Commissioner Steelvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd,
Yes,
motion carries.
thank you.
Okay, this next motion relates to the Undersecretary in Portland Court. There needs to be some background for this. Before Judge Acker came on the bench, in custody cases where there was a need to appoint a guardian ad litem, generally an attorney, the court would appoint that person at the expense of the county, who would be paid an hourly rate of about 38, well, was 75, I think now it's $85 an hour. When Judge Acker took the bench to his credit, he decided that that was something that perhaps the county didn't need to pay for. So he imposed that cost on the parties to the litigation. So in those cases where there was a need for a guardian to protect the interests of the child, he appoints the person, but requires that the parties pay for the cost of that. But obviously, people don't rush in checkbooks to pay them. And so there needs to be a court process to compel these people to pay when they don't pay. So he arranged a program that his secretary is very good about implementing. Does all the checking, does all the paperwork associated with it. Keeps track of who's paying, who's not paying. It is extra work. It's really beyond what you would typically expect of the secretary. If he wouldn't have this program, there would be nothing to put us back on the county. So by having this program, it costs the county spared this considerable expense, which he's estimated saves the county about $40,000 a year. So the request there would be to give this person $3,000 a year as long as she's doing the program. So the motion that I would make would be now therefore be resolved by the Lawrence County Salary Board that the judicial executive secretary assigned to Portland 4 receive an increase of $3,000 and that the $3,000 increase will be removed if the collections program referenced above is eliminated.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second to Controller Gettings. Any further discussion by the board? Hearing none. Question is on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Judge Morton,
Yes.
Controller Gettings,
Yes.
Commissioner Steelvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. I do want to stress that in approving this increase, while it is $3,000, the direct result will be, as Judge Motto mentioned, offsetting $30,000 to $40,000 worth of cost, which I think is well worth it. And that would have been resolution 27.
The last resolution I have relates to two positions in the juvenile probation office. And the overarching concept is that we feel that these positions should have their pay adjusted so that they're consistent with like positions throughout the time. So I'll read the part of the resolution. Whereas the Lawrence County Juvenile Probation Department is currently seeking to rename the positions listed as Specialized Probation Officer Supervisor and Intake Supervisor, which are proportionally offset through the department's annual grant name allotted for non-union positions. And one, the Specialized Probation Officer Supervisor position shall be known as Deputy Chief. Two, the Deputy Chief shall receive a pay increase of $500 per annum from the established 2021 rate. Three, the Intake Supervisor position will be reclassified as JPO Supervisor. And four, the JPO Supervisor shall receive a pay increase of $3,500 from the established 2021 rate. And five, these modifications will create equity in like positions within the county when considering similar departments and time in the supervisor/deputy chief position. Six, these positions will be retroactive from January 1, 2021. And further, the funding for the total $4,306, which includes FICA, this is probably the most important part of the resolution, will be provided by the judge's supervisor fee for this year, 2021, and 2022. So these increases won't come from any tax money for that 2-year period. And these increases will be further offset by not filling the part-time Secretary 1 positions, savings of $10,000 annually. That's the resolution.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion by the board? Yeah.
One question before you go into there being none.
Oh, no, I have one thing too, but
We're not changing base rates here. These are strictly current salaries.
So that's correct. If these people in these positions, we have to review the base rate.
Okay. I mean, that's what I was assuming, but I don't like to assume in this job or I get myself into trouble.
These particular base rates would have been set years ago.
Yes.
So when that day comes, we have to fix these individuals. We have to look at base rates and see if it's.
I just want to go on record as saying.
Absolutely.
so you have my vote with one stipulation, which is I would like, I'll make a motion to this effect, to strike Part 5. These modifications will create equity in like positions within the county when considering similar departments in time in the supervisor and deputy chief positions. I don't like including language relating to equity because I think equity is hard to compare across departments.
And actually, you're right. That's more of an explanation than it is an actual part of the resolution. So I believe 5 should be removed from the actual resolution.
All right, so I'll make a motion to that effect. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second for that amendment, striking Part 5.
So that means that we now have parts 4 and 6 and 7 are now 5 and 6.
Yes. But we do have a motion and a second for that amendment. I'll just do a voice vote if that's amenable to everybody. So any further discussion on the amendment? Hearing none. Question is on the amendment. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same sign. Amendment carries, and Section 5 is removed.
So now we're voting on the main motion.
Yes. And there is already a motion and a second to that effect. Any additional discussion by members of the board? Hearing none, question is on the main motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Judge Mordo?
Yes.
Controller Gettings?
Yes.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you for all you do as well.
And again, I'll note just for the record here, just to emphasize, with that last resolution 2021-28, that for the next 2 years,
That's.
the monies for this
that's my
position,
reference to
will
that.
not, come out of county coffers. It'll come directly from the judge's supervision fee revenues.
Yes.
We'll do up next, just because it's only going to take 2 seconds. Next is salary board resolution. We'll make this 2021-29.
Wait. What was the last one?
28. Excuse me. Vanessa, am I right on track for that 29?
Right.
Yeah.
This is, and I'll make a motion to this effect. Now therefore be resolved by Lawrence County Salary Board that the MHDS director's salary shall be increased to $63,000 effective May 3, 2021. I tried to coincide that with a certain pay period, just to make things easy for the controller's office.
Thank you. I appreciate
Every
that.
once in a while, a thought comes into my head.
I don't
Very,
have a
very
chance.
rarely.
I don't have a chance to squawk about anything that's going on.
Would you believe that I told him to do that?
I'm telling you, you two surprised me, but that's good.
But I'll make a motion to approve salary board resolution 2021-29. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have motion, second. Any discussion, any questions, comments? members of
What
the
is
board?
the current salary?
I want to say it's 58.5. All right. Any other questions? Hearing none. Questions on the motion? Vanessa, please call the roll.
Controller Gettings?
Yes.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we have the DA with us today. Josh, should you be able to approach the bench?
Sure.
Bench. The bench.
The bench, right? There we go.
I figured I'd
So you're
transition
gonna
to
have
your
a
language.
stand, right? Is it your?
Raise your right hand.
Uh,
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth.
I want to do the same thing you just did for the last motion, please. You just ready to say yeah, move on.
So what do we have going on here?
Well, you know what, with your permission, I'd like to do them sort of in reverse order as they're listed.
Sure.
Okay, so the first, request, this involves the resolution for the approval.
Excuse me, Josh, could you possibly put that mask on for Ray, because I'm sorry, but I can't understand.
No, absolutely, thank you.
You can put it up right after that, but
Okay. This calls for the resolution to discuss the possible approval of a one-time stipend of $3,500 less FICA to the District Attorney's Office Special Projects Division Coordinator. Where this really comes from, if you want to get into discussion prior to me making the motion, or how you?
Yeah, just get a discussion.
What this really comes from is we've entered into a partnership with the Lawrence County Community Action Partnership Organization, whereby they've asked to co-opt one of our employees to add additional work to them. And in return for using one of our employees to perform additional duties for LCAP, they are going to make monthly payments to the County of Lawrence in the amount of $5,000. This will go on for the rest of the year, and in all likelihood, it looks like it's going to carry for another year. But this time, we're only looking at one grant period, and sort of July, it's around $35,000 that will be coming to the County of Lawrence. What I'm asking for is, based upon these additional duties that have been given to our Special Projects Coordinator, I'm asking for a one-time stipend to be paid from that money, not from the county money. When we receive the money from LCAP, I'm asking that money then be distributed in the form of a one-time payment for additional duties to the Special Projects Coordinator.
All right, I'll take a motion to that effect from any member of the board.
So
All right, we have a motion for resolution. Second for 2021-30. Any further discussion by the board?
I have a question.
Sure.
You know I have to have a question.
I know you do.
All right, first of all, you have not made any budget resolutions for the money coming in yet, have you?
Yeah, we have
Oh, you have already. So the 35,000 you put in the budget,
already in.
okay, and he has money in his budget
Yes.
for this?
Yep.
Okay, I'm good.
you're great.
Yeah,
That was easy.
I'm that good.
That was easy.
Look at Jeff, just cracking up at that.
Good day, I want to take a sip of my
It's-
coffee.
Sip your coffee.
No, it's his modesty.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Did we vote on that yet? No, we
Not
didn't.
yet, not yet.
No, we did
We
not.
have to call the roll, and let's end this.
District Attorney Limpusa.
Yes.
Controller Gettings.
Yes.
Commissioner Spielvogel.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, next up, resolution 2021-31. Josh?
The second salary board resolution is for the creation of a Captain 2 position within the Office of District Attorney. The background for this position is the District Attorney's Special Investigation Unit, the Drug Task Force, as it's known throughout the general community, the general population, is that is the main policing force for narcotics within Lawrence County. That position is currently being headed by a detective. Now, the rank structure that we have within the detectives in the district attorney's office is we have captain, lieutenant, detectives. There are two different divisions within the DA's office. The investigation division, which handles, your sexual assaults, your homicides, your large financial crimes. Then, of course, you have the narcotics unit. The narcotics unit is not being led by anyone of rank. It is being led by a detective who's the same rank as the other detectives. He has been leading the Special Investigations Unit since March 1st of this year. He was a retired Newcastle police officer who was running the task force, but when he left the city of Newcastle, he has been hired and employed by the district attorney's office for a position he had on the books. And as a leader of the Special Investigations Unit, I would ask that he hold a rank and position commensurate with what his duties are, mainly supervisory duties, in addition to all his other detective street work duties that he does. I am asking that the salary be retroactive based upon the fact that that's when he actually began performing the duties of the job, which was March 1st of 2021. So my resolution is I'm requesting that a Captain 2 position be created, and I'm asking that the salary and wages, that is already has been negotiated in the collective bargaining agreement with the county. So I'm not asking for anything more than it's already been previously negotiated. I believe that's the extent of the salary board resolution.
I'll take a motion for resolution 2021-31. Josh.
So moved.
Second,
All right, we have a second. Any further discussion from members of the board?
one thing is, if we do not remove or put the salary back to March 1st, we have a grievance, don't we?
You do.
Because you have somebody
Those
who's running
performing
and
duties.
performing duties that's outside the scope of their activity within the union.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And I will say that I did put in the salary board resolution at no fault of the commissioners. This was just a matter of scheduling when we could actually have the salary board. There was,
So either way, it would have still ended up with a grievance.
True.
So we will not have a grievance now?
If
You're
it's
assuring me of that?
I'm assuring you that if it goes back to March 1st of 2021, you want to.
That's what I mean. So
Yes.
that's the idea. I mean, if we're gonna do this and we're doing it, make sure we're not creating another, crap show here.
Correct, we would not, because when he officially began the duties, it was effective on March 1st. So there
Okay.
could be no claim that he was performing those duties under County of Lawrence employment, where you could say there was a grievance, where he was doing something he wasn't being paid for.
Okay. Well, he was not doing something in the job that he was not in.
Correct,
Theoretically, he should be in that job as of March 1st.
correct,
If he's in that job, it's a supervisory job, and therefore there's not a grievance.
correct,
If he's not, then there could be a grievance.
correct. He was in that job March 1st, 2021, supervisor capacity.
Not February 28th,
Yeah.
March 1st.
March 1st,
Okay, not March 2nd, March 1st.
March
Okay,
1st.
just making sure.
absolutely.
So I'm gonna vote no on this. Rationale is not because I'm in any way opposed to the position, to the job that's gonna be performed by the individual in the position, or the individual who's gonna be filling that job. I just have a fundamental problem with retroactivity. Not even necessarily for this, but with an organization of 420 people, retroactivity becomes a problem to control in some other areas of the operation. And so to that end, I am going to vote no. I think in the future, when something like this is going to happen, I would ask that we try to do a little bit better of a job anticipating that this sort of thing is going to happen. And at that point, we don't have to retro, we just do whatever the salary board meeting is preceding an event like this taking place. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we have a motion to second. Question is on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
District Attorney Lee Makusa,
Yes.
Controller Gettings.
Yes.
Commissioner Spielvogel.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd.
No.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Josh, thank you.
I think that's it. Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
I'll see you.
See you.
Thanks.
Those kids.
Great.
Great. Up next, we have Jeff Parrish with Public Safety. We'll make this resolution 2021-32. Jeff, what do we have going on?
Hey, good morning, everybody. The resolution that we have in front of everyone is an increase for our wages, for the training wages, the starting wages, the base wages that we start new hires off on for telecommunicators and supervisors. This has not been increased for probably 4 years or so. We never, because it was a base rate, we never put it on the cost of living rates every year. So to be a little bit more competitive, to try to get some more applicants in there and get more seats filled, we were looking at increasing that. And that increase would be 75 cents. So we go from $12.45 for a telecommunicator to start off to $13.20. And if we hire a supervisor right off the street, which we don't really try to do that if we have people in-house already to do that, but we have the capability of doing it. It was previously $13.45. We're going to increase that another 75 cents to $14.20. And also with that, going through the, as you can see in the resolution, this is the same step rate that we do. It takes 2 years for somebody to get up to a full rate, what we call it, all the training. But also on the other line, we wanted to increase our current telecommunicators and their supervisors $1.25 an hour from what they were previously making. And the reason being with that also is the nature of the job that they do. They do a great job. In my opinion, nobody can afford to pay them what they're really be making. It's just like everything else, they do a tremendous job. They haven't received a major raise like this for quite some time. But also with that going along, we had to increase their rate by increasing the starting wage with the new people. So with the step raise is actually looking at it, then a couple of years, there's a potential of a new hire actually making the same, if not a little bit more than somebody that was hired just a couple months before that. So we also wanted to do this before we hired any new people too, which we are doing our current campaign right now. So the one thing that I did leave out of this, and I'm glad it was brought up, was the starting date. And it's not in here, but if we can make it for the end of this, because this pay period ends Sunday night.
Sunday.
May 3rd would be the day.
Yes, so, and that is not the line in there, but to make it a lot easier for the wonderful controller's office, the job that they do.
Just love it, Jeff.
It just makes it a lot easier and a lot cleaner that we can start off on
It is.
a number or 6 or 7 or whatever it is, that we do that. So that is one stipulation, one addition we could put into that. Although, yes, a start, yes.
Before we dive into discussion, I do want to note that the state has increased our 911 funding this year. We're going to be receiving roughly 87,000 additional dollars from the Commonwealth, and these raises will be paid out of that increased funding from the Commonwealth. So
What do we think these raises are gonna come up to?
when you factor in overtime, we're probably looking at a total cost for 12 telecommunicators and 4 supervisors. Is that inaccurate? You're looking at a total cost of about probably $50,000 to $52,500.
See, if it was 49.5, I'd be okay. No, I'm kidding. So we're gonna be okay with the number.
We're still making out. We're still
gonna
making
be
out.
ahead of where we're at.
Yes.
Yeah, I made sure I went through that. And just for note and for the record, this increase is just for the working telecommunicators. It's no administrative staff. It's not myself. It's not our 911
Right.
coordinator or anything, as much as I would love to do that too. This is something we want to take care of these folks that are sitting there. So this is just going to them. Yeah. And it is covered from what we're getting in. We're not waiting that all out. So.
The other thing that I will note too, is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, in all the counties that surround us, Beaver, Butler, and Mercer, telecommunicators make higher wages than what they make here in Lawrence County. And to me, when you're having discussions about equity, interdepartmental equity, I don't think it's worthy of having a conversation because the departments are so different. But inter-county equity, I think, does matter because if the same job is being performed in Mercer County as it is in Lawrence County, and our salaries are substantially lower, we run the risk of either having people go directly from Lawrence County to Mercer, Beaver, Butler, or we run the risk of people not even applying for Lawrence County positions, knowing that they can make more money at another county that's not too far away.
It's just gonna make us more competitive.
It's going to get closer, yes, sir. And we're a couple dollars away from the Beaver and Mercer. I mean, we've actually lost people to Beaver that've gone full time. But again, we couldn't compete with, the wages that they were making. I mean, we're close. I mean, it's something that, a lot of what they look at too, of course, is it's always bottom dollar. What am I making? But also scheduling, since we've been going 12-hour shifts, which accounts for a lot of our overtime. But then again, we're not, we balanced it all out like that. A lot of people like the 3 days off. Yeah, so it is, they have a permanent schedule, knowing what they're doing. So it's one of those things that they're not working 8 or 10 hours and only off a day or 2 hours of a permanent schedule. That you're working 42 hours one week, 42 hours the next week. Someone working 36, 48 with 3 days off. So it's other things that we have involved.
So let's include, I'm not going to go through because we haven't officially made the motion yet. We'll put in, Dave, you can put it in wherever you want.
Effective on
May
May 3rd, 2021. Now, this is for all of this.
Yes.
The $125s and anybody new starting from that point forward, et cetera.
Yeah, we won't hire anybody this week. We'll wait till next week.
So let me make the motion, and then you can make sure it's the way we want. Be it resolved that Lawrence County Public Safety shall be staffed by 12 full-time telecommunicators, up to 12 part-time, and 4 public safety telecommunicator supervisors. The pay rate structure is listed above. All current telecommunicators, and current supervisors will also receive $1.25 increase of their current hourly rate effective on May 3rd. Starting wage and percentage portion of the pay rate structure listed above shall remain in place unless superseded by another salary board resolution.
May 3rd, 2021.
Yeah, so I didn't say that, but that's what I
I
wrote.
just want to make sure, I have a problem with retroactivity.
Yeah. We're not going to a year now. I would have caught that one. I would have a problem with that one too.
Would have really been competitive.
So May 3rd of 2021.
All right, do we have a
So
second?
moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have motion and second. Any further discussion on the board? Hearing none. Questions on the motion? Vanessa, please call the roll.
Controller Gettings,
Yes.
Commissioner Steelvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay.
Thank you.
all. Appreciate it.
Anything else to be brought?
That's 30, it's 32.
32, yes. Anything else to be brought to the attention of the board? Any members of the board have any additional comments?
No, I didn't. A day or two already.
I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Motion, Bill Vogel, second, Gettings.
Okay.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The Lawrence County Salary Board is adjourned.
Thank you. Very good.
Yeah, I'm all about it.
Save, are we making copies
I'm
or
gonna
are
be
we?
on vacation.